welcome to day 7. The final day in our 7-day series of body and trauma. And today we are going to go through numb. Numb, not feeling or numb. I know personally for me, I get stuck in this one a lot. We numb pain, we numb hurt, we numb everything not to feel. And this brings in escapism of like only feeling something whenever we numb, and that usually comes in with our addictions, with food, with alcohol, with other substances, things that are external from ourselves, because they comfort us and they help us feel not the discomfort, because that's what we're numbing from. We're numbing from discomfort. And so I'm going to open up this container to allow ourselves to feel numb. And I don't know how this is going to go, because like in my logical mind, it's like, how do you feel nothing? And that's exactly what I'm inviting us to do, is to feel the nothingness, to feel the numb. Because like sometimes when we say like, oh, you know, our arm went numb, like whenever there's been so much pressure on it that it can feel tingly, but like before the tingles and the sensation comes back, it's like it's not there. And so what I want to invite us to do is to be in that numb, because sometimes it is safe to be. I mean, obviously, our nervous system has evolved to feel numb, because at the time when we were in trauma, or were in a highly stressful situation, it was a safety mechanism of like, oh, this is too much for my body to feel right now, so I'm not going to feel it at all. And it is by design, but the problem is when we get stuck. When we get stuck in the numb. And I feel that there's like parts of me, like, that it stays stuck. Like, definitely in my hips. My hips stay numb. My like other parts of my body, but mainly in my hips. And it was maybe for many women or men that, like, can you isolate that part of your body that is constantly numb? I'm just going to sit in that numbness. That's funny, I just got a sensation in the left side of my brain. It was like a brain freeze. But it's like just speaking those words and bringing attention and awareness to that. It's like a new neural pathway or something. It was just like, oh, this is where I live at in the brain. And so just bringing some awareness to that. Thank you for showing me. And again, this isn't about fixing or changing. It's about acknowledging and meeting yourself where you're at. That we are human. We all go numb sometimes. But it is safe to move out of the numb and to feel. And as soon as I said that, the story that came up in my head was like, no, it's not. It was a panic of like, we have to stay numb because we can't feel the hurt or the pain or the trauma. And I'm like letting myself tell that story, but also inviting of like, maybe that's not the end of the story. Maybe there's more. And maybe that may be true that I can't feel that, but also it may not be true. And just being curious about so I'm like holding my hips again, just to hold that, physically hold that container of the numbness, and even touching that part of my body. Like I feel the pressure, but I don't feel held, and so that is, I know, is my mind not allowing. And so, but to my body, it feels it, and so whatever stories your mind wants to tell you around this work, you don't have to fight it or ignore it or say you're wrong. But that's your story. That's the mind's story. And that's not my body's experience in this moment. And so wherever you're touching yourself of that feeling numb, I'm allowed to feel numb. And as you feel numb, like I like was able to feel my fingertips now. Like I moved it down into my like outer like thighs, the upper thighs. And so this is just giving confirmation to my mind, like, look, we're not feeling numb right now. And that just like builds in that like sense of safety and security and knowing of like, oh, like I don't have to feel numb. I can feel sensation. And sensation is sensation. It can be like, it doesn't have to be hurtful or painful. It can be like, it can just exist. And it doesn't even have to be pleasurable. It can just exist. I can just hold myself. And so as we feel these feelings, like that's the point of feeling the feelings, so that like our mind tells us they're so strong, they're so rigid, they're so like as a matter of fact, and then actually once I feel them, they dissipate, they like spread out, they open, and I'm not trying to make them go away, it just happens naturally of that. And it just provides like more space of that numb. So I'm going to take us through a brief little EFT, which is an emotional freedom technique, which is tapping. But I like to expand on the tapping because like this isn't for me always, and I'm not trained in this. I've just I have a friend who I do it with, and whenever she does it, we do like affirmations and we speak with it. But like sometimes I just want to like with my hands and just kind of, because the numb for me is so deep and so constant. I need this. And so if you don't need that, if you're just like moving through the numb, you can do like little tappies and just go all over your body with it. If you want to say things, if things come up whenever you do it. But for me, like, and if you haven't tried this before, I invite you to, and just go all around. And this is just kind of showing my body it's like where it is in this time space, and just going all over. And it's not hard, you're not trying to hurt yourself, but you're just like do you feel numb in some places? Do you feel numb in your feet, in your calves? Like, can you not feel the like tapping, slapping? of yourself. And again, like, the point isn't to like do it as hard as you can or as strong as you can, but just to, you can kind of test that. And like I was doing that with my heels, because like that's what my body wants now, because like it is deeper, and whenever I say deeper is like the numb, that has like been my go-to of like, it has not been always safe, especially as in a child, like to be safe in my body. And so this is just like bringing that, like that physical touch that I'm giving to myself is what I'm doing to like show my body of like, hey, we can move through this, we can move out of this when you're ready, whenever you don't have to be stuck in it. And that's all we're doing, is just showing another way of being. And you can switch it up, go from slaps to and so those deep breaths that I take, that's a release. So that's like my body's like audibly saying, oh, I can dissipate like this numb. I can move in and out of this as need. As needed. So any sounds, any words?